everyone, thanks for watching the video. Today we are building a small family home in the world of Brindleton Bay. I actually really love this world. I've built quite a few homes here in the past for my legacy Sims, and I just think it has a really nice vibe, and the world itself is really pretty too. Um, I just really like how pretty the world is with like all of the trees and the plants, and yeah, I just really enjoy building here. This is actually the first time I built on this particular lot. This is Dachshund's Creek, and it was quite a tricky lot to build on because it's entirely surrounded by trees, and it just made the camera controls bounce around all over the place. I actually had to cut out quite a few bits in this video because I'd slightly rotate and the camera would just bounce up into the sky or bounce to a different part of the lot. So it was definitely challenging. So it's something to be aware of if you build here. Um, I really struggled with that for quite some time until I eventually sort of managed to get control of it. I don't know if anyone else has that problem with some of the lots. Like I just find, especially lately, the camera has been so bouncy, if that's the right term. Um, I just find that I keep, you slightly adjust something and you end up completely somewhere else. I'm not sure that's just a me problem or if it's just a Sims thing at the moment. I don't know, but it's very annoying. So I actually built this lot for my niece. She's 9 years old and she's recently started playing The Sims, and she's still learning when it comes to building. And so she asked if I could build her a house that she could use. She started to download my other builds from the gallery, but because she only owns a few packs, most of my builds don't really work for her because she ends up missing lots of items, or items get replaced with really random objects. So she downloaded my modern family home build that I did a few weeks ago, and where I built a fireplace using like the torchlight from Get Famous, the game had randomly replaced that with the turtles that you put in your like the turtle decals that you put in your swimming pool. And so she called me and was like, "Why are you obsessed with turtles?" And I was like, "Turtles?" She was like, "Yeah, like there's turtles all over the living room." And then there was something else that was in one of the upstairs bedrooms they had also been replaced with turtles. So she just thought I was like obsessed with turtles and I'd put them all over my house. And I was like, no, that wasn't my plan. I didn't mean to put turtles in the build. So yeah, I thought I'd build her something completely new with packs that she uses. So that hopefully there's no turtles. I did think about adding in like a little secret turtle to see if she'd notice it, but I decided not to. Um, so I'm only using base game and cats and dogs in this build because those are two of the packs that my niece actually does own. But I'm also really enjoying the additional challenge of only using a couple of packs. I did this in my last build where I only used base game and horse ranch, and it just makes it a bit more challenging for me. It also means that I get to discover new items that I've never previously used, like doors or windows or wallpapers or whatever. Um, and because I can be quite bad at using the same items over and over again in every house. So this is kind of pushing me out of my comfort zone. And I'm really enjoying that. I just think, I'm still learning for sure, and I don't know every item. I know like I watch some YouTubers who build and they just seem to know everything and they know where everything is. And one day I hope to be like that, but right now I'm definitely not. So yeah, it just means that I'm sort of learning and getting to grips more with all the different items that you can get and build and buy. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying the extra challenge. My niece's Sims family is made up of two adults and two children, a boy and a girl, plus a pet, but she hadn't decided whether she wanted a dog or a cat at the time I built this. So I tried to make this house with that in mind and just sort of give it like a cozy family home vibe. So you would have seen I've just finished doing the living room and dining room, and I've sort of broken up with using platforms for stairs. I'm adding those into the kitchen as well. I'm just sort of playing around with that. I have started trying to use platforms just to add something different into the build, sort of break it up a little bit. Um, and I end up playing around with it quite a lot just because it takes me a little while to figure out if I like it or if I want to keep it like that, but I'm really happy with how it turned out in the end. Um, and yeah, like it's not the biggest house, it's not um it is very much built to be like a small family home. I didn't want to give her a house that was too big. I find that when you play with mansions or any any house that's too big, you end up just like losing your Sims, and especially when you have pets, it can become such a nightmare to try and find all of your Sims. So I wanted to give her like a small home that she could use while she sort of learns how to play The Sims. Um, and so that's kind of what I'm aiming for here. But I just really like the vibe of this house. Like once it's finished, it does just feel quite cozy. It feels quite sort of family orientated. And I was really pleased with it. So at the moment we're building the kitchen, and in a minute I'm going to figure out that I haven't given my Sims enough room to get through gap between the counters, so I'm going to fix that in a minute. But right now I'm just kind of playing around with some like the windows, and I've got the platforms. I've ended up lowering some of the platforms, so I'm just trying to fix that now. Um, yeah, that's what I'm doing now. I also like using the arches rather than like proper doors. I just find that it makes it feel a bit more open plan, and I also think like you don't really see the doors when you're playing. So some people might love using doors. Um, I personally prefer to use the arches just because I do find that it makes it feel a bit more open and air like light. So we're just sort of decorating the kitchen at the moment, just adding in some lights. And I'm just sort of playing around with paintings. When my niece downloaded one of my other builds, she was like, "Why have you got so many paintings everywhere?" So I tried not to put too much in because I knew that she wouldn't like that. But I did try to add in some more like wall decorations and clutter to try and make it feel a bit more lived in. So now I'm realizing that I've put the counters too close together and I'm fixing that. And then for these rooms, I decided to try and make like a little bathroom because it just suddenly occurred to me that they should probably have a bathroom downstairs as well as one upstairs because the upstairs is quite small. Um, and so that's kind of what I'm putting in here. It's just like a small, it's not a fancy bathroom, it's just like a family bathroom. Um, I just didn't think it needed anything fancy when you're in like a normal family home. And then I tried to make it smaller, but I realized in the end that actually it'd be better to make it wider and shorter, if that's the right term. So I ended up changing this around a little bit. And the other room I turned into like a study and a playroom. So I wanted it to be like a place where my niece's Sims could up their skills, and then the kids could play with their toys, and they've all got some sort of area. The bedrooms aren't that big, so there's not very much room for them to have lots of toys in their bedrooms, so it just made sense for them to have them sort of downstairs instead. So this ends up becoming like a study slash playroom. And then I just sort of add in some skill building things. So I add in like a chess table and some like bookshelves. And I think there was something else, but I can't quite remember what that is right now. Um, and then I add in like a doll's house and like a toy box and stuff, just so that the kids have somewhere to play as well. What I really enjoyed about my niece starting to play The Sims is just one that I get to share something that I really enjoy with her. So we often have a FaceTime and we'll like play The Sims at the same time, which has been really sweet. And also just getting to see her like experience things for the first time, like the first time her Sims died and the first time her children get taken away because she hasn't looked after them. Um, I've just really enjoyed seeing her reactions to it. She may be watching this, so if you are, hey Elsa. Um, so now I was putting in like the children's toys and the toy box. As I say, I just wanted to make it like a nice little area for them. And then I put in some activity tables just so they've got somewhere to like also up their skills as well. I always forget about the kids' activities. And then when I put them in, I remember how much easier it is to like upskill them if they actually have things to do that with. A bit like the science table for kids. It just like it upskills their logic um it's not that logic though, is it? When they're a kid, I can't remember what it's called. Like that sort of skill, it helps them gain that so much faster. I just always forget about it until I put one in, and I'm like, oh, why haven't I done this before? So just sort of decorating the outside now, just making sure that there's gonna be some sort of light at night time. And then in this one, I'm pretty good at adding in curtains. So if you've watched one of my videos before, you know that I quite often forget to add in curtains. But this one I feel like I remembered in quite a few of the rooms. Not all of the rooms, quite a few of the rooms. So, I'm proud of myself. So just adding some decorations into the hallway. It's not a massive hallway. I didn't really want to put too much in here. Like it's pretty basic. Um, but I just wanted to make sure there was, something in there and some sort of decorations, some posters. Not too many paintings because then my niece wouldn't enjoy that. So we're nearly done with the downstairs now. We're going to be moving upstairs to the bedrooms, and then they have one bathroom up there. So I gave the children a bedroom each, and then there's a master bedroom for the mum and dad. And then the we move outside to the garden and like the outside landscaping. So I'm just adding in some items for the pet, whatever she decides to get in the end. Um, I think I pretty much added in stuff more for a dog, really, but I'm sure she could change those to a cat-friendly items if that's what she wanted to do. So yeah, we're moving upstairs to the bedrooms and bathrooms. I wasn't really sure what to do here with the floor plan, so you see me changing it quite a bit. I didn't want any of the bedrooms to be too big or too small. I didn't want to have like a massive hallway because I just never really know what to do with them. So I ended up just going with like a small bathroom, and the children have like decent sized bedrooms, and the parents have the biggest bedroom. And the hallway isn't too big. It has like enough space for I put another pet bed in there, and then like an aquarium because I thought that'd be quite fun for her. Um, the kids have like decent sized bedrooms, like they have like desks and stuff in there, and um some like furniture, but it's nothing too much because they've got their little playroom downstairs. So we're just decorating the parents' bedroom at the moment. So just adding in some like a dresser and some clutter into there to make it feel a bit more lived in. I feel like I'm getting much better at placing clutter. I'm trying to sort of make myself use more of it, and not just the same stuff over and over again. Although it's quite tricky because I feel like I have certain clutter items that I really like, and so I end up using those a lot, some more than others. Um, and yeah, then I just try to add in like a few more decorations into the bedroom. I wanted to keep it fairly simple. Sometimes I find that I end up going a bit overboard with the bedrooms, and it just doesn't need to be as fancy as sometimes I think it needs to be. Like when you think about when I think about my own bedroom, there's nothing too fancy. Like it's got some furniture and it has got some um like photos and stuff on the walls, but it's nothing too much. So I tried to keep it a bit more simple and kind of plain, and then make the children's bedrooms a bit more out there. Not out there, but a bit more decorated. So we're just adding some furniture into the little girl's room. So I tried to make this quite like pinky and purpley. And the boys' bedroom is fairly blue. Um, just because I knew that's sort of the colour scheme my niece would want to go with. So that's what I ended up doing. And then I tried to use like the cats and dogs furniture in here. So I tried to sort of make sure that I was using those items that came with the pack. And then I'm sort of playing around with different lights and um, decorations in here as well for her as well. Again, keeping it fairly simple, like not too cluttered. Um, Maybe they're like neat Sims. I also wanted to sort of give my niece a chance that she could add in more stuff if she wanted to, so she could really um, she could sort of decorate this more to make it feel a bit more like her. She doesn't love the building, but I think she does love decorating. So I wanted to give her the option to be able to do that if she wanted to. And also for you, like if you was to download this from the gallery, like it's got a bit of room to be more decorated and played around with. So that was kind of my aim here. So moving on to the boys' bedroom now. So again, this is pretty simple. Like it's a bit less childish actually, I would say. Like I think the girls' bedroom is quite childish in like the colours and the type of furniture, and then this one's a bit more grown up. I still add some toys and stuff in there, but it just has a bit more, maybe they're like a slightly older child, maybe they're like a pre-teen or something. Um, it definitely feels a bit more, yeah, a little bit more grown up, this one. This one I did add a desk in, whereas there wasn't room to add a desk into the other bedroom. But I just kind of thought they do have the desk downstairs that they could both use for their homework. And as I say, if this is like a pre-teen, they will probably need to do their homework more than perhaps a little girl would. So yeah, I just kind of thought I'd make it a bit more grown up in here. I was adding some more posters in. I really wish there was like some more posters like this. Like I feel like the posters are either really childish or they're like there's quite a few. I'm sorry, there's like not that many that aren't childish or are too grown up. Or it's hard to sort of get that balance. I wish there was a few more in there. So now we're just finishing off with the hallway. Sam's adding in a blind. I actually remembered here. On the aquarium, then I'm gonna add in a little pet bed for whatever animal my niece decides to get for her family. Um, and that's pretty much it for the house, I think. So we're gonna move outside to the garden and the sort of the front of the house and just start doing some landscaping. So again, like I didn't want anything to be too fancy here. I just wanted to add in like some nice landscaping and sort of make it feel a bit more like the surrounding world. So I added in some trees and some bushes and some terrain paint as well, just to sort of make it feel a bit more blended into the world around. I actually ended up redoing the garden. So the garden you're going to see is the final garden, but I had done like a whole garden layout and then realized that I didn't really like it that much, so I ended up redoing it. And I cut that out because it seemed silly to show you me making a garden that was ultimately going to be deleted and redone. So what you end up seeing is the final product, but I had like quite a lot of fun with playing around. I sort of built some flower beds. But I was just thinking of like a regular family garden, like nothing too fancy, nothing too landscape, like just a regular family garden. So I put some flower beds in. I ended up putting in like a pool because I knew that my niece would love to have a pool for her Sims. So I put that in. Um, but yeah, it's just like it just feels like a nice little family garden, and I really liked how it came out. Whereas the front's a bit more landscaped, like it's more, designed just to look pretty and look nice and somewhere for us to look at rather than for the Sims to appreciate really. Um so yeah, that was kind of what I was aiming for here. Yes, now I'm gonna start building those flower beds. So as I said, by this point I'd already built this garden, and what you're seeing, there's like a few bushes and stuff because I kept some of the stuff I'd kept in there, but sorry that I put in there, but the rest of it all got deleted, and so I'm sort of starting starting again here. Um, but I'm much happier with how it looks now than my first try. So yeah, it was worth it. And then I just end up putting some like bushes and flowers and stuff into these flower beds. So I just kind of wanted it to be fairly simple. As I say, it's just supposed to be like a regular family garden. So nothing too fancy here, but I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I think it does look really nice. My niece was also very happy, I'll be pleased to know, with this house. Um, so yeah, it worked out well. It's also available in the gallery if you wanted to download it. So if that's something you'd want to do, it's available. My EA ID is just simmersian, so you can see all of my builds on there as well. And we're just finishing up with these bushes. This is quite time consuming, isn't it? Like I think sometimes I forget how time consuming landscaping can be. But it just makes it so worth it. Like it looks so much better once you've done it. So I was really pleased with how it turned out. And then adding in the pool that I knew my niece would love. Again, this is where I really thought about adding in some turtles, but I decided to. I don't think I want to be known by my niece for turtles, so I thought I'd leave it. So we're just finishing up in the garden, actually just finishing up on the build as well. So I'm sort of adding in a nice little seating area with a barbecue for the Sims to have like an outdoor seating area, adding in some plant pots in case they wanted to grow their own fruit or vegetables. And I'm really pleased with how this turned out. I think it does have like a nice family vibe. It's not too big. As I said, my niece has been really happy with it. So, um, yeah, I'm really pleased with it. You're going to see a video tour in just a second. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.